Good morning, everyone. I wanted to start with a question. What kind of faith do we really want? A comfortable one that fits into our schedule, or something real, something deep, and or maybe a bit costly? Today, I wanted to take you through the life and ideas of someone who challenges us deeply. That is Dietrich Bonhoeffer. First, let's look into Bonhoeffer's idea from Gospel of Luke, where Bonhoeffer talks about the story of rich young man from the Gospel of Luke. This man came to Jesus and asked, "What should I do to get eternal life?" Jesus told him to give up everything and follow him. The man walked away sad, and because he was rich and he had too much to lose. Benafer says the issue was is not about money. It was about obedience. The man wanted to follow Jesus, but he was not actually ready to give up anything for Jesus. And he writes, whenever we are called to follow Christ, whenever we are called to follow Christ, we are summoned to an exclusive attachment to his person. That means following Jesus is about saying completely 100% yes to him. No conditions there, no negotiations. And Benafer is saying that when Jesus calls someone to follow him, it's not just simply an invitation, like not a general, like a casual invitation. It's a personal call to attach our whole life to Jesus and to Jesus alone. uh, it means that Jesus becomes it should become our number one priority in our life. But what happens most of the time, we give priority to all the worldly things, and Jesus comes the second. And this hit me hard. It reminds us that following Jesus is not about negotiating terms, it's about surrendering us completely to Jesus. The rich young man couldn't surrender himself to Jesus. He was completely obsessed with his richness, and so he missed the kingdom because he was not able to surrender uh, things to Jesus. I have a personal story to say here. Mm, I wanted to tell you something very personal to me. When I first came to Canada, things was really hard for me. I didn't have a job at that time. My wife and child just arrived, and it's been just 1 year at that time, and it's my second year here in Canada. They joined me after an year, and now after coming, my wife got pregnant again, and now it was a stressful time for me. Then one of my friends said, I didn't even have money to pay for the rent. It was a lot of struggle at that time. So one of my friends said, "Hey, I can get you a job at the marijuana shop nearby." So it would have solved a lot of problems for me. It was like a gift for me, but deep down, I knew it was not right. I remember stories like the rich young man who couldn't deny his riches to follow Christ. Actually, saying no to me at that time was feeling like committing a suicide, killing myself, or stepping off a cliff. But I believe uh, I didn't take that job, and I believe God honored that decision. Anyhow, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Benafer's idea about visible community. Okay, Benafer believed that following Jesus is not something we should do in secret. Our faith shouldn't be hidden like a password we keep it for ourselves. He said, church is supposed to be a visible community. That is a group of people who lives who's I mean a group of people living, and their life is so different uh, from looking from outside. So Christ, it should be like Christ like behaviors from this community, that others can see what Jesus looks like just by watching us live a Christian life. um, so what does that look like in a real life? It means choosing kindness when choosing gossip. It means like forgiving even when your pride wants to hold grudges. It means not just saying I pray for you, but actually showing up when someone is hurting or someone is in trouble. It means being honest at work or school even if someone else is cheating. It means standing up for someone being bullied or mistreated, even if it costs you popularity, right? Even if it costs you uh, many of your day-to-day life. People should be able to look at our life and see God's value in our life. uh, they should be able to see God's love, God's justice, God's mercy, God's truth from how as a Christian community we live. Today many people say faith is personal. Yes, that's true. Faith is personal, but it starts personally, but it's never meant to stay private. If Jesus has changed our life, it should show in how we speak, how we serve, and how we love others. Right? The church becomes visible not only by having a lot of grand programs like colorful mics, I mean colors and lights and big mic speaker system. It's not just about having some flashy programs or making our sermons perfect, but when ordinary people live out their faith in everyday life, that is what is visible community means. Benafer's vision of the church wasn't about buildings or Sunday morning routines. It was about a community that shines shines its light in a dark world. And he believed this kind of community could actually challenge the world, not with power, not with politics, but with love and obedience. So ask yourself, if someone is following you like for a week, would they see anything different in how you live because you follow Jesus? They should able to see Jesus in your life, in my life. Uh, we should we should be able to become the icon of Christ, right? That's the challenge of visible community, and it's also the invitation to be a part of something real, something bold, uh, that points the world to Jesus. Right? Let me tell you something powerful from Benefer's life. In 1939, just before World War II become worse, Benefer had the chance to stay in America. He had a teaching opportunity in New York and could have stayed safe, far away from all the troubles happening back home um, in Germany. And like most people would have said, like stay there, you don't have to go back to Germany, God has given you a way out of that disaster and all those things, right? So but Benafa didn't feel right about it. He didn't want to stay safe in America because he was worried about his people, his Christians back home in Germany struggling. uh, and he believed that if he was going to help rebuild the church in Germany after the war, and that doesn't make any sense for him. So what he did is, uh, after just a few weeks in the US, he made a hard decision. He went back to Germany, and he knows that it is very dangerous. So though he knows that it is dangerous, he went back to Germany to help his people in Germany. Why? Because he didn't just want to talk about following Jesus, he wanted to live for it. And once he returned, He joined the Confessing Church. This was a group of Christians who stood against Hitler, who refused to follow Hitler's Christianity, the Hitler's version of Christianity. While many churches started following Hitler's style or supporting Hitler, many Christian churches started supporting Hitler, but here, here he said no to Hitler's version of Christianity. And many churches become silent about the way Hitler was doing, or some churches become very worse, supporting Hitler. Benafer and the Confessing Church said no. We wanted to follow Christ and not the dictator. Benafer started training young pastors underground. He taught them that following Jesus meant willing to suffer, speaking the truth, and stay faithful even if they don't feel like popular, or if they don't feel recognized, or whatever it is. Stay faithful to Christ, speak the truth always. He even became involved in a plan to resist Hitler, a decision that would eventually led to his death later. And he was imprisoned. Once he started resisting, he was imprisoned. In the prison, he didn't become bitter. He was not worried about it. He kept writing letters full of faith and hope in the prison. He prayed. He encouraged other fellow prisoners. He encouraged the people outside by his letters, writing letters. One guard who saw Benafer in those final days said he was one of the very few people I have ever met for whom God was real and always near. Benaver's life made people believe God was truly present, even in a place as dark as a Nazi prison. Okay, even in the prison, he believed that God is truly present there. Just a few weeks before the war ended, Benafer was executed for his involvement in the resistance, and you know that he was just 39 years old when he died. But his life continues to speak today. He didn't take the easy road. He followed Jesus, even when it cost him everything. Okay, uh, so it's not an easy faith; it's a costly faith, and that's what make his story so powerful. He didn't just say that grace was costly, but he actually lived it and he showed it to the world. So, this is what costly grace means. Let me talk a little bit about Reggie L. William, how he related Benefer's ministry with Martin Luther King Jr.'s ministry. So in his book Christ Centered Concreteness, he was talking about how Benefer and Martin Luther King Jr., even though they lived in different times and places, they shared something very powerful. Both of them believed that being a Christian is not just about what we believe in our hearts or what we do just inside the church. It is to be lived out in the real world, especially when people are suffering or being treated unfairly. So there is a lot of connection. We can connect easily, uh, both of them, both of their dedication to the uh, world outside. For Benafa, uh, it means standing up uh, to against Hitler and the Nazi regime. When many churches stayed silent, Benafer stood against Hitler. And for Martin Luther King Jr., it meant marching against racism in the American South and speaking up for those who had no voice. So Williams shows us that both men believed Real discipleship and real discipleships comes with a cost. Okay, it's not easy. Discipleship is not easy. It comes with a cost. You can't just talk about grace, you have to live it. And sometimes that means, it could mean sacrifice. It can cause a lot of discomfort in our life, or even it is dangerous in our life, especially with all the present things going on in our world, all the war and things going on surrounding us. What really connects them is this idea that faith should be seen through action. Okay, through standing with the hurting, through speaking out when it would be easier to say stay quiet. Like it's very easy to stay quiet and not talk about anything, but speaking out wherever necessary. And William reminds us that discipleship is not just a personal journey, it is a public witness. Benafit did it by resisting injustice in Germany. King did it by leading the civil rights movement in America. And we are invited to do the same wherever we are, by letting our faith show in the way we live, um, the way we love others, and how we stand for what's right. So for us today, youth, students, you immigrants, people on work permit, I know that you are facing a lot of struggle in this competitive world. This means being a Christian isn't just about personal peace. It's about loving others like Jesus did. That's when the church becomes real. That's when people can actually see Jesus in us. But I know that we are struggling with a lot of other priorities, the worldly priorities in our life, and we are not able to focus on what really matters. This reminds me of something Brian Simons shares in his book Wandering in the Wilderness. He talks about how many young people today feel like they are stuck, they're confused about life, unsure about the future, not really sure where they belong to, right? Many people, maybe some of you feel that way too, right? It's like uh, being in a very heartful time. But you know what? The wilderness is not always a bad place. All the hardship you're undergoing is might not be a bad place. In fact, it's often where God meets us the most clearly. So when He meets us in our struggle, actually, right? Uh, think about the Israels. They didn't meet God in a palace. They met Him in the desert. And even though it was hard, the wilderness is where they learn to trust Him step by step, slowly, gradually. So God didn't take them out of the wilderness right away, but He didn't leave them alone. He was with them, He was supporting them, right? Sometimes God uses that confusing place, that dark place, to teach us and to shape us and to help us. Uh, and that is where probably we can hear his voice properly. And also Stephen Evans in his book Why Christian Faith Still Makes Sense says something really encouraging. He reminds us that believing in Jesus is not foolish. Like many youth, especially in this modern postmodern generation, many youth believes that it's foolish to believe in Jesus, right? In fact, in a world that is broken, where there is so much of pain and confusion, trusting in Christ actually makes the most sense. It's not about foolishness. And he also says faith isn't just about agreeing with a set of belief, it's about how we live. Okay, so it's not just about believing, oh, okay, I believe in Jesus. It's not just about saying things, but how we live. Um, faith isn't faith isn't just something we say with our mouth, it's something we do with our life, right? A real faith gives us courage. When we have that faith in Jesus, we it gives us courage. It helps us stand up for what's right. Okay, even when it's hard, it helps us say no to things we know are wrong, even when we are desperate. A good example is I gave you from my life, but I didn't have money, and I had to get a job, and the job I got was in a marijuana shop, and I had to say no to that. It's easy to say I believe in honesty, but you know, it becomes real when we refuse to lie, even if it is, if it costs something for us. We should refuse to lie. It is easy to say I trust God, but it becomes real when we don't take the easy wrong path. Again, my example of refusing a marijuana shop job, even though I was in a very bad need for money. So sometimes, like whenever you might have to stand alone, we might have to stand alone. Maybe in your school, in your college, in your university, at your job, even maybe sometimes in your family, but you won't uh, be alone. Remember, Christ is with you. So I wanted to leave you with a challenge. What are you still holding on to that keeps you from fully following Jesus? Is it your job? Is it the worldly richness? Or is it your comfort? Or maybe your relationship? It may be your dream, a successful dream future, or your spouse, a girlfriend, or your fear. Just ask yourself, what is keeping you from fully following Jesus? But now first life says this: following Jesus might cost you everything, but it gives you Christ, and having Christ is worth more than anything we give up. Let's not be like the rich young man. Let's say yes, because obedience might be hard, but it leads to real life. And may God bless you all. Amen.